Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final day of the Chisholm Invitational live at the University of Queensland. A bit different than normal. Obviously, sitting next to someone a bit different than normal as well. Chiwai will be joining on this caster desk soon. Before we get into things, though, I just want to, take in that whole introductory sequence thing. I haven't actually seen that yet. That was the first time, and that was slick.
Oh, thank you.
That was really cool. So, and I think this is a good way to talk about more what we want to, because obviously I'm sitting next to Mark Mendez, who is pretty much the head of Chisholm Esports right now and the one who has put this entire tournament together. And how has that been as an experience for you? Because this is, newish territory, I suppose. The team has been around for a bit, but it's the first time hosting a tournament like this, inviting other schools. Has it been a great experience?
So far, it's been really exciting. I mean, I don't think I got much sleep last night. It was like a kid before Christmas. It's been fantastic. I mean, it's more so it's been about the journey to get here. Starting off in a little closet with 4 or 5 adults trying to commentate and getting things ready to now here at UQ. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and it's definitely a fantastic experience so far. All 4 of the participating schools have arrived. They are playing on the campus itself. So this is a LAN event, not like sort of the online ones we had been doing before. It's going to be on the tournament realm as well. So to go from that closet, again, I can relate. I started my casting in a closet.
And you've seen it too.
Yeah, I've seen that closet. It was a bit larger than what I initially had. Literally was a walk-in closet and like a handheld microphone. But it really comes to show how, again, with esports, it feels like an industry where you need to build it from the ground up, and then you slowly get more and more grandeur things, no?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, esports still in its infancy in Australia. I mean, you're looking at the states who are 6 years ahead of us. I mean, they had to go through the same process as we've had to. You hit that, that resistance with, if you put an E in front of sport, what does that mean? It's not throwing a ball or tackling somebody. It's, opening people's mindsets to see what this is all about. It's not confronting. It's not dangerous. It's not, going to turn you into some God knows what. It's something that's really encourages kids to, be a part of something they were never actually able to be a part of before.
Yeah, and I think it's really great to see in events like this as well when you have the schools coming along. I've noticed some parents as well are coming. Yeah. It looks like to be rooting on their kids.
Great to see. Yeah.
And I'm imagining this is sort of what you envisioned at the start of this tournament.
Absolutely, because it's not just getting awareness out there for high school esports, but it's showing that this is a community thing. You look at developers, they really push forward with all of their products in their games and their esports to form a community. We want to start that because we want, kids to go home to be celebrated, celebrate their achievements, and their parents to actually get an understanding of what they're doing and why it's so important to them too.
Yeah, exactly that. And I feel because esports is this new thing, and there is that hesitation because of the stigma of, video games, aren't they better off outside? Which sometimes, yes, exercise is still important. We're not saying you replace esports with your normal physical activities or eating habits or sleep. But I suppose I'm just asking, as a teacher, where are your perceived benefits of events like this for the students themselves?
I think, again, for me, it comes back to giving them an opportunity that they weren't able to have before. I mean, there are, students in this tournament that have wanted to be a part of sports and haven't been able to for whatever reason. It comes back to this analogy that I always use. If you are at home, your son or daughter comes to you with a basketball and says, "Hey, listen, Mom, Dad, I'm going to go, or whoever, I'm going down to the basketball court for 6 hours." You kind of know where it is. Would you let them go? You wouldn't, because you want to supervise them. You want to celebrate their achievements, celebrate, their shot accuracy or whatever else. Here it's about celebrating them to win, celebrating the amount of time they've invested in that character. But definitely by no means is it to encourage excessive gameplay or toxic behaviors. We are complete opposite end of the spectrum there.
Yeah, and that's something, further embellishing because of the high school program. And that's another aspect of, I suppose, esports and video gaming is, are you actually out there developing these social skills? And I've been a strong advocate that, especially in high school esports, absolutely, because you're still going out there learning the team building, exercising, learning, what is good sportsmanship, humble in victory, gracious in defeat. And I feel that Chisholm as well has definitely been strong like components of this. Like you've definitely been pushing for this, and I've noticed it in how like the players interact and behaved. You get, there's the occasional excessive celebration, I felt like, but like that's understandable because that's part of the victory. Like when you are feeling those high successes, I think that's super important, and like obviously morale comes up for the kids as well.
Absolutely.
And it's great to be able to then share that with these other schools who are also going to be participating and competing.
Absolutely. And full disclosure, when we had our team briefing this morning with the teams, I did say to them, thank you. Thank you for being a part of something that inspires that one student sitting in their room going, wow, I wish I could be a part of that. To next year, next week, tomorrow, start, developing friends, developing teams to be involved in something like this. They're welcome. You are welcome to attend so that they can, be a part of something that they've never been able to be.
Yeah, and I think that is another great component of esports is just the inclusivity, how everyone can be a part of the team. I believe it was St. Francis, and I'm really sorry if I got this school wrong, but it was essentially, one student who was unable to participate in other more traditional sports, but the school rallied around him and got himself a team to compete in this very tournament. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the semifinals, but they were still out there competing. They played every week, and they fought hard despite having, the less than stellar performance at the end of the day. But I guarantee you, for those students who normally can't get to do other things, like this was still a great experience for them.
Absolutely. I mean, we do have a high skill cap team, well, a couple of teams, and we have low skill cap teams. But it's important to have both, so they have a level to get to, and to also know that if they are up the top, then there's someone coming for them. That's all a part of that competitive sporting nature that we want to encourage too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do feel, as we'll be seeing in this industry growing and like the high school esports scene growing, the inclusion of divisions as more and more teams enter. So you will be seeing your higher skill teams competing against the higher skill teams more often than the lower skill teams, at those lower divisions for more fair competition. Obviously, more and more schools I have been noticing have been getting involved. STMC, I believe they are one of the ones who really jumped on later in the year, I feel like, and they've already made it to the semifinals of this tournament. So I'm excited to see how they go. And through that,
me too. Yeah.
I know you're going to probably be a little biased in your predictions, but I do want to hear who you think is going to be taking. Like, we'll go through each of the semifinals. So the first one, SBCC Colors, probably the favorites in this, taking on your school, Chisholm Green.
Yep.
Are you going to stick with your school, or?
I'm so sorry. I am. No, I'm not going to apologize.
Yeah.
I'm a Chief all the way through. Chiefs all the way to the finals.
So I don't even need to answer the second question yet. So it's going to be Chiefs final with the Chiefs winning.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I shouldn't have even.
Spider-Man and Spider-Man, right?
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining me on this cast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me, actually. This is your tournament, so I'm here on your behalf.
Anytime.
Any closing words or anything before we pass on over to Chiwai?
I think that thank you again for everyone who's watching as well. It's really important that you are encouraging these people from your school, somewhere that you know, something you've just heard about in the grapevine, and getting involved. It's important that we spread that awareness for high school esports, that this is a platform and this is an opportunity for people who want to be a part of something that they've always dreamed about to make that a reality. That's all I want to say.
Real quick before you go,
okay.
A prediction that actually will put you on the spot. G2 or Fun Plus Phoenix?
Oh,
Who's taking Worlds tomorrow night?
No, SKT1.
SKT. Oof. That was my pick.
Okay.
Didn't go so well.
I'm still very sensitive about that. Thank you. But I would go G2.
G2?
Yeah.
You're feeling G2?
I'm feeling G2. I want some G2 skins. Yeah.
All right, Chiefs and G2. There you have it. Thank you again very much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
That said, I'm going to have to bring back the professional video game yeller with me. So Chiwai, he's doing his warm-up stretches right now. He's getting ready. He's feeling it.
There was a squat. Yep. Fantastic.
Hey, physical exercise is an important component to all this.
Absolutely. This is a holistic thing. So, yeah. Thank you very much, Max.
All right. Thanking you. So doing a quick handover before we are going to be getting into our first game momentarily. It will be SBCC Colors versus Chisholm Green. And hello, Chiwai.
Hello.
You're here.
Thank you for having me.
Transition.
Yeah, no, that was flawless. I didn't just slid into side frame there. How you going?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I've realized my chair's a little bit. I don't want anyone to think you're taller than me. There
we can't have that.
Yeah, no, exactly. we don't want that.
I think everyone should know by now I am probably like the shortest person involved.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you put my chair down a little bit as well, just to make yourself feel a little bit higher there. So we're starting this off with a little bit of hostility.
Look, I can only grow my hair so far up when I'm wearing the headset, so like I have to resort to every trick in the book.
That's okay. I understand. I understand. But yeah, I mean, a really good interview there with the head of this Chisholm Invitational there, Mr. Mark Mendez himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all of his words, but times two. I feel the exact same just listening over to the back of the monitor there.
Yeah, and again, I have to give a lot of credit to him and what he has put together and like this entire program and tournament. It's been a blast to be a part of. I know I did join in a little bit late.
Yeah.
Other commitments and all that, but to be here at the final live at the University of Queensland with all the teams and students here, it's definitely a great experience and one I'm ready to dive into. So let's talk about our first game, which is going to be SPCC versus Chisholm Green.
Yeah.
Now, both semifinals are being played at the same time. We are going to be jumping in between the two, which is a little bit unorthodox, but that way all 4 teams will be able to get on stream. This first game, I am not really feeling that same confidence Mendez was feeling. I feel Chisholm Green has a big hill to climb against the tournament favorites.
Definitely Chisholm Green being one of the newer teams, per se. Against the powerhouse of SPCC, who, I mean, they've shown a ridiculously good performance all the way through the entire tournament themselves. And so, I mean, to say SPCC would lose would be an upset. We're essentially just looking at SKT versus like G2.
No,
but very similar. I mean, SKT were the gods. They had this name for themselves. I mean, they were the SKT train back in the day, the hype train all aboard. And the whole SPC, like, to say that they won't do a good job is just not indicative of their previous performance. They've shown that they will do a good job.
I'm going to be a little harsh here, but if I'm going to make a more apt comparison with this one, I'm going to say SKT versus Splice.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think that's a bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Or here's a better one, actually. If we're going to go back a couple years, SKT versus Misfits.
Oh,
if we want this to be,
okay.
Because in that matchup, SKT did win it, and I am picking the colors to take this.
Yeah.
Misfits did come out and fight, though, if you remember that series. That was I forget who it was, like Hans Sama on the Blitzcrank. A lot of fun.
Necessarily, when I spoke to the guys before, I said it's not going to be an easy game. You guys have one of the hardest starting seeds out of the 4 teams, and so I mean they have to fight. They have to use everything that they've learned up to this point, and then to pull out every strategy in the book, even to like as the coach of the Greens to be. Like, we have a strategy just to flip that red button and press it if need be. Yep. There is a secret strategy that, if anything else comes to it, I'll just flip the red button and then be like, boys, take it away.
I feel as if you should have done that for game 1, though, just because that's where they're going to be on the stream.
Fair.
Last thing I want to add, though, before we go into this, and I'll come back to it once we actually get into the game, though. I definitely want to see how Green can improve in both their solo lanes and their jungle play. I know from the one game that I saw on Thursday, that seemed to be where they were sluggish a bit, and that I think will be critical for their success. SPCC has a super strong jungler.
Yeah.
I believe it's Purple at the moment. And I've been super impressed watching him play, which will get me more excited about the finals, assuming SPCC does get there.
Yeah.
But I feel solo lanes and jungle is a strong suit of SPCC, and it was kind of the weakness of the Greens. I did like the Greens bot lane. I think they're going to need to step up in this one. But I definitely feel that will be the matchup to watch. But before we get into it, which will be soon, quickly let's brush over the other best of 3 that is happening, which is Chisholm Maroons taking on STMC.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely STMC have, to get into the finals, they have shown that they have a very good amount of skill there. I'm giving it to the Maroons, just purely based on, I'm expecting the finals to be SPCC versus the Maroons, kind of like the big clash, the big meetup of the 2 kind of best teams there. But of course, STMC could pull out something, and the Maroons have shown that they're not this invincible unit either. They have definitely shown that they have flaws. They have opportunities, weaknesses that can be used against them. It's not unfeasible that STMC could pull away with the best of 3 here.
Yeah, I think the key thing for me from STMC that I want to see from them is more cohesive team play.
Yeah.
I feel that's where they kind of faltered a bit in the past. Individually, they do seem like a strong team.
Yeah.
Like, they have the mechanics. They can hold their own in lane. Can they come together as a team? As I have definitely felt, especially in the early game, that is where the Maroons shine. I mean, they showed that off excellently on Thursday. I don't know if you had a chance to go back and watch the vlog.
I was being able to watch. For those who don't know, I was feeling incredibly ill on Thursday, so that's why Max had to do it all by his lonesome. But I mean, it was just being able to watch. I mean, I haven't gone back and watched the VODs. I haven't had time yet. I need time in the day to do stuff. But I mean, I definitely will go back and watch them. And would you like to inform me about what happened?
Beautiful first 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. First 5 minutes.
No, they won the game in the first 5
Yeah.
minutes. It was essentially reacting to the information given to them in the correct way. So it was the correct movement, play again. A lot of it through microlag.
I did hear that microlag did manage to get his kindred.
Yeah, again. Ignore the score lines,
Yeah.
everything past the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes, Microlag's play got all 3 lanes essentially ahead.
Yeah.
Top lane kind of did it itself.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything that you need to learn from those previous games is that don't give Microlag his kindred. However, if you want to put... Really up to you whether you want to do that or not. I don't recommend it at all, but you can do it.
Well, here's where I'm going to, here's why I'm saying, kind of ignore the kindred. It wasn't the kindred, it was the player. It was the position.
Yeah.
It was the rotating around the map. And sort of they showed this information, the other team reacted. We knew you were going to react that way. We're going to capitalize on this, and it sort of just escalated from there. It was really smart play. And
you can actually play quite a few mind games there with kindred as well. I mean, especially with the marks being in the enemy jungle. If you say, just wait there because someone will want to clear it, then you get that mark and then the jungle care mark as well because you farm champions like you do minions.
Again, first 5 minutes, so those marks weren't there yet.
Trust
me, just go and watch these first 5 minutes. You're going to be like, oh, wow.
And then just first 5 minutes and then just...
Yeah, that's all you need to see because first 5 minutes, all 3 lanes.
Yeah, as a coach, all you need to do is watch the first 5 minutes of the game and then that's it. Then you just tell...
Well, okay, what happened after that was just small leads escalated to large leads and just picking 1v1, 2v2s from there. So that's why I'm saying, the first 5 minutes, they won the game.
Yeah, it's all good.
That said, though, I did see picks and bans before. It looked like we had a bit of a remake situation.
Yes.
So we're going to be getting into the games very, very soon. It will be SBCC colors on the blue side, taking on Chisholm Green, which will be on the red side. Hopefully, I believe actually we should be able to jump over to them now because they seem to be a bit of the ways in those picks and bans.
But yeah, I mean, I think briefly we saw an Akali ban. So, I mean, that's an Akali ban. Get rid of Akali because she doesn't really have too many counters.
Yeah, Akali is definitely one of the stronger champions at the moment. I would like to see what else has been taken at this stage, unfortunately. You definitely want to get rid of the Akali, though, just because of her, side lane strength.
Yeah.
Her ability to 1v1. She can get going quite early.
And in TFT, you throw in a Gunblade. Oh, no, she's not
She's gone.
She's gone.
She's gone.
I forgot that Season 2 existed. And I was still living in Season 1 of TFT.
Yeah,
We throw a Gunblade on Akali and Seraph's Embrace, and she just... an Infinity Edge. And then you just mow down everyone like a lawnmower.
Well, she's gone.
Lawnmower.
She's gone, just like she's gone in this game. And now we get a better picture at what is going down. Some things I'm liking, some things I'm not liking right away.
Nautilus top. First of all, love it.
I don't think that's going to be
And then Lucian jungle with Ignite. Love it.
Clearly, that is replicating Do and B, and it's going to be the Nautilus in mid lane.
Yeah,
okay.
no, you do. We don't even need jungles anymore. You just run Nautilus and then Lucian top lane, and then Orianna mid, and then you run a support with an Ivern support with Smite.
I would love that, but I don't think that's what the colors are going for. That is going to be a very high kill pressure bot lane with the Nautilus Lucian. Meanwhile, over on the green side, it does appear they're picking for roles, and already looking at a very tanky team with the Garen, with the Galio, and the Jax as well. So a strong front line. I'm a little bit worried about shot callers on the Garen. What I saw last time, he did get exposed a bit, picking fights that he really wasn't able to. And against a top laner like Master
Alawi.
Knight and like Alawi, if he does the same thing and running straight towards her, it's going to be a very bad time for this Garen.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, shot callers is one of a newer player to League of Legends, so his game knowledge is lacking there compared to Master Knight. We have gone over some certain things, so hopefully during the training sessions, he has improved he's improved tremendously over this whole tournament. But just working with him to be like, where to take opportunities as Garen, where to run in and trade, and when to use your E versus when to not use your E. And little tactics, like if you're spinning in your E and you press Q, then the animation actually doesn't go off, so people don't know you're going to Q immediately. So that's a small little tactic that I learned on one of those top 10 tips you need on Garen before you even enter the top lane. But, I mean, looking at both teams here, very tanky team. I mean, both teams are very tanky. They have a lot of CC, and the Morgana is especially going to do very well against that Nautilus.
I do like the Morgana into the Nautilus matchup. This was something that we saw McBurger actually play on Thursday as well, and he did that to great success. Retro had the Caitlyn before, now is opting for the Kai'Sa. The problem that I have, and this is similar to the issue that I had with Chisholm Green on Thursday, is their team comp is very, very late. It's a Protect the Kai'Sa comp. It involves a lot of scaling. On the opposite side, SPCC, they are going with a lot of playmaking champions. Zac with the Elastic Slingshot, Orianna's Shockwave, Nautilus with the Depth Charge, and the
It's kind of just like the old school deliver the ball method.
It is, but the thing is, because of that that playmaking and the playmaking at level 6, couple that with a team that is probably a bit higher skilled mechanically, I feel like SPCC are set up to run away with this game against a Chisholm Green side that they need to play pretty perfectly if they want to get to that late game Protect the Kai'Sa stage. Yeah,
I mean, and naturally, no matter how far Kai'Sa is behind, if she just gets those items, she's just going to reach her peak anyway. So, I mean, let's see how this game can go out. Obviously, as you were saying, the game pretty much does run into how late the game can go. And I mean, with the Jax pushing into the side lane, Jax is obviously someone you do not want to go a 1v1 against, no matter who you are. Just don't 1v1 a Jax.
No, definitely not something that you would like to experience. That said, we will be getting to show the game very, very shortly. At the moment, we are just looking into the void before we get into it. Team that might be the underdog in a situation, playing for the late game isn't my favorite thing to do because you have to survive laning phase, and unfortunately if you're the underdog, that means they're probably going to be stronger mechanically and they're going to challenge you during that laning phase, and then you'll never be able to get to that late game. I do feel they're easier comps to run though, so I see the benefits from them, but I don't know. I think Chisholm Green is going to struggle in this.
They are. Looking at the team comps going against it, it's interesting that the jungler for SPCC didn't take a more of an aggressive response. He did take kind of a more passive ganking. So, I mean, ultimately, he could use his own skill to get himself ahead and then carry the game by himself. But he's more or less picked a jungler that is more reliant on their team, because Zac doesn't do a lot of damage output by himself.
Runic Echo, thank you very much. Hard AP, Zac.
I mean, if he's going to build Rabbit on Deathcap, I mean, he'll do some damage. But I doubt, I mean, cool, I could be wrong, I'll knock on wood. But
one-shot Zac was a thing of beauty last year. Last year. I don't know, like, I mean,
it's a really good pick because you do have Alawi and Orianna, two champions that essentially can. I mean, Alawi can 1v5.
Yes.
If she's able to get a ridiculously good ult off, that is 6 tentacles if she does pull the spirit out as well. And then she's able to slap them all down, regain a lot of HP, and essentially just melt the entire team by herself.
Yeah, Alawi.
Theoretically.
I feel Into the Garen is actually a pretty good matchup for the Alawi, because Alawi wants people to come towards her, walk right into that ultimate where she can just drop all the tentacles. Says, we are in the game. Fortunately, we have not missed any crazy first blood situations. So
not in the first 2.5 minutes. And as you said, it's the first 5 minutes, so we're halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was also Chisholm Maroon. Who by this stage, I'm pretty sure they already had 2 kills. Like that was I was so impressed by that team that game. But in this one right now, you can see SBCC, they are the team on the blue side. Chisholm Green is on the red. So just
everyone has all the skins that they want to pick.
True.
Tournament realm. So we got. Don't worry about how much RP you got. We got you. So it's I mean, it's a nice bonus as well.
That's a beautiful thing. Other things to note right now, it will be an Infernal Drake to start out. So I do expect that bot lane actually to be a serious point of contention. I'm a little bit disappointed we couldn't see too much of the early game pathing, but it looks like it was pretty stock standard. Each jungler opting to go ahead, clear out their side. No crazy plays just yet. Pigeon getting poked out a bit. This Galio into the Orianna, I'm a bit surprised that Hey I'm Yellow actually opted for the barrier. That's showing a lot of respect to the Pigeon's Galio.
I mean, Pigeon is shown to be a very good mid laner with a lot of aggressive champions, more like Ryze, Akali, more assassin-y type people who want to catch anyone out. The Gallios, I mean, it's a good pick necessarily going into a very heavy AP comp. I mean, you've got the Zac, you've got the Nautilus, you've got the Orianna. And I mean, not so much for the Alawi and the Lucian, but especially against that Orianna, who's going to be doing a ridiculous amount of AP damage.
What I'm worried about, though, is I guess some of the confidence coming out of the Pigeon in this matchup, as we just saw right there, not really wanting to commit on this taunt, but the stun from Scary Monster does connect, and Yellow's in a bit of trouble. Pigeon kind of low as well, so they're going to need to back out for right now. Trade going both ways. Flash was used by Scary Monster. Didn't really get too much out of that gank. A good counter gank as a dredge line will connect onto Retro. Black Shield will keep him safe from a lot of that CC. Ignite was dropped by Shaco, not found as well. And I have to admit, the colors, not quite that hot start I was really expecting from them.
Yeah, I mean, and it might come down to the fact that Purple isn't playing an aggressive jungler for the early game. I mean, Zac has a lot of good CC, but if you can't follow up on that, then it's just a wasted gank. As we pretty much saw there in the mid lane, yeah, Pigeon did get low, but you didn't have that kill secure ability like you would have had on, say, anyone else, like a Xinjiao or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I mean, the kill threshold from an Orianna Zac, not really there pre-6.
Yeah.
Post-6,
Post-6, I mean, like, as soon as they hit 6, that's scary.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Yellow does not have the mana, so we won't be seeing any crazy level 6 all-ins, especially without the teleport.
Yeah.
So it's not as if Yellow's going to, like, back and come into lane and hit that 6 power spike, which is interesting because Purple does seem to be quite mid-lane focused at the moment. He's sort of just been playing around that circle of the mid lane for the past couple minutes or so.
Well, you want to be using your Orianna as an anchor. Looking at this team fight, it pretty much does rely on that Orianna, getting that huge Orianna ult in the team fights. Because, I mean, Zac's ult is no longer an AoE grab, it is a displacement. So he is working actively against the Orianna in terms of ult capabilities there. But although the Elastic Slingshot being able to jump himself in works for the Orianna, so I guess it kind of relies on just making sure Orianna can get as ahead as possible so the damage output is there.
And while I do agree, if we get to late game, yes, the Orianna and the Shockwave will be critical for the team fights. I still would like to see Hey and Purple put more emphasis on this bot lane right now.
Yeah.
Yes, Hey and Blue and Shaco Not Found should be able to hold the bot lane on their own, but you need to identify that Chisholm Green's win condition will be Retro on that Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
You have the early game advantages down there. All you need to do is connect with that Elastic Slingshot.
Yeah.
And really, the CC pre-6 should be enough chain, and there should be enough burst from a Lucian in order to take down this bot lane.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen too much of that, and I feel a lot of that has to do with Hey I'm Blue's aggressive positioning in the lane, the fact that they've been pushing a fair bit. There just hasn't been opportunities down there.
Yeah, I mean, and as well, I mean, even looking at now, Zac is sitting there between top and mid. It's not even showing, even with an Infernal Drake. I mean, is not going down there. And also, his red buff hasn't been taken yet. That's an opportunity to steal. I mean, the Kai'Sa could even take that if she manages to hit it with a W.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I feel the positioning from Purple has been more mid and top focused.
Yeah.
Where with an Infernal Drake, I would
Is
like to
it
see
because
more
maybe
focused.
they've conceded the fact that bot lane will be more reactive? I mean, you do have a Nautilus and a Lucian who you can engage, but as well, you are very good at reacting to, say, Morgana queuing or anything like that.
Well, it comes down to, I believe, the difference in league ideology. It's like, do you use your jungle to support your weaker lanes, or do you push your advantage in your stronger lanes?
Do we go solo queue, or do we do a team fight?
I'm a big component of pushing the advantage of the stronger lanes.
Yeah.
I believe that, especially in games like this, if you could get that Lucian a couple kills in the next 5-10 minutes or so, Hey I'm Blue would be in complete position to take over this game. However, SBCC colors, they really needed that fast start. And so far, taking a look at the gold situation, they are sitting on a 1K gold lead. I would have liked to see more, but it does bring up something that is very important to address right now. This Alawi is running rampant in the top lane.
Yeah, and it does come down to the fact that Shotcaller is not as experienced. So his confidence in trading with the Alawi, especially under tower, he's showing that he's respecting the Alawi's distance by not engaging. So he's not dying, which is good, but at the same time, he is losing out on a lot of CS there to Alawi.
And it's at this stage where I have to say, all right, where has Scary Monster been? As that was a great Dark Binding connecting from McBurger. Hey, I'm Blue is going to try back way, but Retro's committing for the kill. Will get that first blood, and Shaco in a lot of trouble. A second Dark Binding does connect, but with the Ignite dropped, that will mean Retro backs away, but first blood going over to Chisholm Green.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really, really good engage there as the game gets paused. It's not a tournament here without a game being paused. But, I mean, really good first blood. I mean, that was an ample time to actually pause it there. The Lucian getting caught out, and then the Nautilus not being able to body block in time. He's very slow. He waddled over there. And by the time he got there, I wasn't expecting the Kai'Sa to go in. That was a very incredible move there, and the Ignite also being dropped there.
Well, I was more like trying to point out the fact that it was a level differential right now.
Yeah,
level 6 is available.
And I think he just got level 6 as well.
Yes.
So it was very much just like hey, we got that. Yeah, okay, in.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a Cathian surprises the Kai'Sa?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a great use of Retro with the ultimate in order to jump in, secure that kill. It definitely caught me off guard, and with that early first blood, it's a delayed play going towards the Dragon. Shockwave disrupting all at Chisholm Green, and this is the fight that SBCC wants. Shaco not found, grabbing a kill for himself. Pigeon trying to flash a wave, will not get pulled back by the Elastic Slingshot, but it doesn't matter because Scary Monster has fallen, and McBurger will get run down, chased down by Hey I'm Yellow, and the Infernal Drake that should have gone to green goes to the colors instead.
And just when you think that colors weren't being able to keep up, they show you why they picked Orianna and Zac. that combo, the Zac going in, disrupting the entire team fight, the Orianna ult coming through and just annihilating everyone. That is what SPCC want to do. That is the strategy they want to do, and they did it pretty flawlessly there, including a Dragon. I mean, they didn't lose any members except for the Lucian there, but no, and actually there was one more. The Morgana picked up someone.
Yeah, the Nautilus.
Yes.
Shaco fell in that. But the important thing to note now, and this is where I'm going to be very curious watching SBCC Colors, because considering how that fight went and how this early game has gone, Blue, I don't think should be seen as the big carry potential. It should be Yellow, who is currently getting jumped on. The Chain CC is there, and that is a huge shutdown for the Pigeon.
I'm gonna start calling you Death Note, because as soon as you said that name, it was gone. So let's try to use that power for good and not evil. Yeah.
I feel like whoever I call out as being the carry for SBCC Colors, they immediately go down, and that's something I have to give credit to Chisholm Green for. They appear to be identifying who the larger threats are, and they're focusing them down. Master Knight is now the next one who I'm looking at to perhaps be that carry, only because of that large CS advantage, and it's not getting better. And unfortunately for Chisholm Green, Scary Monster hasn't really been able to provide too much help, and I'm worried by this stage, it's almost too late.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to that situation is, as a Jax, do you potentially help out a lane where even if you get that Garen ahead a little bit, he will be losing ultimately according to the skill. Just that's the way it looks at the moment. It is a 21 CS to a 97. That is ridiculous goal difference there. But even, unfortunately, the item selection there, the Stinger being picked up, the attack speed, I believe that it is going into a Trinity Force. Again, it comes down to lack of game knowledge. Yeah. So for those who have been playing for a long time, you would ultimately know that you would go a Phage over a Stinger. But, I mean, if you're just trying to build into a Trinity Force, especially as a new player, you would just try to pick up as many components as you could.
Wouldn't that be the responsibility of the coach?
I have tried. I've sat down with shot callers a lot and spoken to him about perhaps building in a specific way, but I mean that Alawi ult is doing a lot. And then there's another fight in bot lane
as well. That was a great Black Shield, stopping a lot of the Chain CC. But here comes Hey I'm Purple, does not connect with the Elastic Slingshot, gets the flash out. The Ignite was burned as well. McBurger forced the flash, eating a lot of that culling, and Hey I'm Blue will gun him down.
Yeah.
2 kills across the map for the colors.
Yeah, I mean it is a tournament as well, and some things can go out of your head, especially when you are in a stressful position. I know there's definitely been times where, you've been playing like 50-minute matches and you just kind of forget what wards are, and then you're like, oh wow, I have 2 vision wards that I haven't used at all. But I mean, it just happens.
New player, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to blame the new player for building wrong. I'm going to instead throw all of my questioning towards you. Because I feel that is your responsibility as Mr. Experienced Coach. Plus, I'm allowed to flame you a little bit on stream.
I did. I mean, okay. I'll accept that. I'll accept that one. But I mean, the fight there in the bottom lane, the overextension from the Kai'Sa there, resulting in the death of Morgana, and Lucian just being able to get that last little bit of the culling. I wonder if he had like 1 or 2 shots left. It was very, very close there. But, I mean, just a really nice gank there. A reactionary gank there from Purple.
And I think that was exactly what Blue needed as well to get himself a bit more back in this game. for SPC Colors, they should be aware, all right, top lane's going our way, mid lane's been going our way. Now if bot lane can get going their way as well, they can start setting themselves up for a big mid-game push, which is really what this team is built around. I'd like to see them start making plays towards that Rift Herald, really try and accelerate this lead. I feel a Rift Herald dropped even in the top lane with how little attention it's been given by Green. Could start to crack this base open. Green on the other side, where would you like to see them go? Because I'm thinking they need to really start trying to accelerate Retro as much as possible. Hold that thought, the Retro caught by another dredge line. Good use of the Black Shield does stop the CC.
Well, SPCC are very good at recognizing the weakness in a team and then taking advantage of it as fast and as quickly as possible. And the weakness in Chisholm Green is the top lane there. I mean, it already has been opened. There's one tower down and the second turret there is taking a lot of damage. So all they need to do is what you said. If you throw a Rift Herald down there, which has been now picked up by Orianna, just being able to push that down to the top lane, I mean, it could result in an open inhib.
Yeah, I'm not entirely thrilled on the Orianna picking it up. I would have preferred it to go to Zach.
Yeah.
That just might be the jungler in me, though. I am always annoyed whenever my solo laners steal away that Rift Herald. I worked so hard to earn for my team, and then it's just like, nah, I'm top lane. I need it. I'm playing Tryndamere. I'm like, okay, buddy.
I mean, to be fair, Tryndamere does need it. Because all Tryndamere does is stay top.
But he can trust me to help him.
I can't trust you junglers. You've stolen too many of my cannon minions. I know what lane taxing is. I still hold grudges against junglers. 10 years of grudges.
I don't even know if I've ever played a game with you, but I would not put it past me that, yeah, we probably have met in solo queue or something.
It's not I've played a game with you. I've played a game of people like you. All right, I know what you like. And then Zach jumping over the wall but getting caught by Galio.
Yeah, this is actually a bad situation, perhaps for Ham. Purple does not actually follow through, though. It's Chisholm Green up top, though. Scary Monster thinks he's found Master Knight. The heroic entrance is disrupted by Shaco, not found, and Purple is allowed to run rampant. A good use of the teleport by Master Knight joins this allowing to the fight and gets himself a double kill back towards the mid lane. That is the Pigeon trying to fly away to safety. Does a good bit of zoning, but as this is happening, the Rift Herald is doing so much damage to the tower, it will fall. The Pigeon has no protection, flashes over the wall, the follow-up flashes there, and Purple gets the 4th kill of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, really good work there by Orianna by recognizing that a fight was about to happen, dropping the Rift Herald mid, and so it's like casual gold income. You know, the tower's just getting taken down reactively while the team fight was going on, which has resulted in 2 towers being taken down and the top turret as well. All that remains now is the 2 bottom turret, or the outer 2 bottom turrets there, and Dragon, which I believe that SPCC will probably go take now.
Yeah, they are looking to secure themselves that Cloud Drake, so it'll be the 2nd Dragon going their way this game. Definitely a great start for SPCC Colors. It was not quite as fast as I was expecting, but it does fit with their team side. As soon as they hit level 6, really that's when the go button would be pressed. They are now sitting at like roughly an 8K gold lead, not even quite at that 20-minute mark yet. And at this stage, it's just about how can SPCC close out this game, keep the gas pedal on.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of the builds as well, and with Chisholm Green opting for a more damage-centric build, I feel that might leave them a bit more exposed.
Yeah, I mean, even with someone just going back to that damage-style build, I mean, Jax, it's necessarily, do you try to Hail Mary and try to get that Trinity Force so you can ultimately become a very high priority target for SPCC to take down, or do you build tank and then push your inevitable start till the very end? But again, is this game going to go to the very end?
Yeah, I do not want to know. I mean, we're getting close to that end, it feels like, for the Colors. This teleport being used by Shock Callers right into Master Knight. That was a very risky teleport. Blue is there as well. Shock Callers in a lot of trouble. Lucian should be able to run him down as the depth charge has been dropped onto the Pigeon, being cut down by the tank. Scary Monster is going to try and make the save. Counter-Strike does get a double stun. That should be enough to disengage for now. Yellow arriving a little too late to the fight, but Scary Monster needs to be careful. He almost walked straight into Hey, I'm Blue up above. Still might. That is a dangerous death push in the end. Was spotted with the sweeping lens, so we'll back away for now. As this is happening, good play by Retro and McBurger.
Yeah.
They do get a tower for themselves.
Well, I mean, now you're looking at SPCC, and essentially the only thing they can do is go for those. But there seems to be fights breaking out.
Yeah, a couple little skirmishes. The Pigeon caught in between 3 big, strong members of the Colors will fall. Scary Monster arriving a little too late, just gives the double kill over to Hey, I'm Yellow. And with that, 2 members down, I expect to see base towers start to be sieged upon. That is the case. Retro stepping forward, but how much can he really do? The Shockwave pulls him back in, and Shaco, not found, will find a Kaisa instead retro dies, and so shall this mid tower.
Yeah, I mean, now, if I was SPCC, I'd be looking getting the inhibitors, the towers. But now you just got to wait a minute 30 till Baron's up. But even then, you could probably end before Baron if you wanted to.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and push. McBurger is going to drop the ultimate. The stun will only connect on the Zac, and it's not enough to keep McBurger from getting cooked. The second inhibitor will fall. Sorry, that was the first. The second one will be falling right now as those minions are starting to siege on it. The rest of Chisholm Green trying to find their way into this fight, but it is so dangerous for them. They can't really step forward. There are too many ultimates once again available. You have Purple with his, Master Knight with their own, not to mention the depth charges are back online. However, Colors will retreat for now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just respecting the death timers there. I mean, all of Chisholm Green was up, and yes, you could have probably gone for the final ditch fight there to take everyone out and then go for the turrets themselves, but SPCC, being a very smart team in the way that they play, respected the Chisholm Greens there, especially when they have home-based advantage, and decided to opt out there. Probably maybe looking for that last Baron push there. It is coming up in about, 20 seconds. And waiting for that to come up there, so they'll be able to use that as a final push there. Especially if they just take it up through the bot lane, they will be able to melt these turrets incredibly fast.
Yeah, I expect they will probably go for not only Baron, but that Mountain Drake as well. That's going to be spawning in a minute 30. I feel at that stage the push might be too much for Green to handle.
Yeah.
Green needs to rely on pretty much the perfect team fight. Like, abilities and chained crowd control needs to be on point. But the thing is, who do you shut down? Do you go after blue? Do you go after yellow? Do you go after Master Knight? All three of them have, like, this carry potential, especially Master Knight.
Yeah, that's what I'm most concerned about, is the Alawi being 4-0. As I said about earlier, Alawi is one of the champions who can 1v5 fairly easily. As long as she's not CC'd down too much, I mean, you can just take her down. But let's see how this Baron goes down. Maybe it will get stolen.
It might. I mean, eyes should be on Scary Monster, who is still at the base. Super Minions coming in as well as the culling is just zoning everyone from Green away. Pigeon cannot approach. McBurger has already fallen. The Super Minions on the Nexus Towers means the rest of Green have to retreat. They cannot contest this Baron. Shotcaller's trying to do what he can down below in that bot lane. This is a base race that I don't think will go Chisholm Green's way. Baron has been secured.
Yeah, I mean, and Oriana's probably going to go back there and attempt to stop the Garen from backdooring any further. Meanwhile, the rest of the Chisholm Greens there are desperately trying to clear the Baron up super minions. But there's Jax finding the Alawi, but I don't know if that's the person you want to find there, buddy.
Yeah, but someone has to do something. The Black Shield will stop the slow at the end of the day, but Master Knight, with these Baron-empowered minions, just doing so much work. I'm actually a bit surprised that SBC sent anyone really to deal with the Garen, just because why bother when you have 5 people who can start sieging these Nexus Towers? The heroic entrance is not going to connect from the Pigeon. Wave will be cleared for now, but it's this next wave that is going to look so dangerous. Already you can see Ham Yellow is starting to make his way up. Shotcallers is trying to retreat, but the Nexus Towers are already down. The depth charge buying so much time for this Nexus to get wailed on, and SBCC Colors should be walking away to a victory to take the lead in the series 1-0.
And there was SPCC Colors. A little bit shaky there in the beginning. I mean, there were a few ganks that went actually Chisholm Green's way, and they were able to defend against the powerhouse of SPCC Colors themselves. But ultimately, they did what they did best, which was target the weakness. They found the weakness. They pushed the knife in further and further and further in until they were able to come out the other side with a win there.
Yeah, and I definitely want to highlight the play as well from Hey, I'm Purple on the Zac.
Yeah.
Didn't really come online until post-level 6.
Yeah, but ultimately that's what we expected anyway.
An 80% kill participation.
Yeah,
like
huge.
That is massive coming from a jungler like Zac as well, so definitely.
Especially when you are so gank orientated. If you didn't have anything above a 50%, we'd be wondering what you were doing wrong.
Exactly. I just was impressed with the Zac play. If I'm going to name an MVP for that first one, I'm looking at Hey, I'm Purple.
Yeah.
As for the ace, I actually want to give credit where credit is due to Pigeon in that mid lane. I think he did quite well on the Galio. Yeah, there was a couple rough spots, maybe not understanding the limits that your champion can go to, but played it mostly safe, played around the jungle well, and found a couple opportunities for himself. So I was impressed with the laning. I don't know. You could disagree with me on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel there was certain things that, overall, the Greens did do some things really well, and other things they didn't do too well. I'm going between, let's Pigeon. Yeah, I think Pigeon overall, he is a strong laner, and he did show really good presence there in the mid lane, and being that he's so team fight orientated, being on that Galio as well. Pigeon and Pigeon and Purple.
Yeah, Retro as well, though, I want to give some credit to. I mean, he did pull off that first blood.
Yes, I mean, we can't forget about that.
So that was a big win for Chisholm Green, but overall, largely what was expected from SPCC Colors.
Yeah.
The stronger team got the lead, and when they had the lead, they just did not let go. It took them a little longer to get the lead. At times, it looked like maybe Green could fight back, and as I was saying before, if they went for maybe that early game team comp with some of those picks, upset could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely speak to the boys now.
All right. Well, that said, we will be going to a break momentarily, I believe, as soon as our producer is back to send us to a break. Means we get to chill out.
We get to talk more about TFT. Because that's what you came to the stream for, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Just TFT chat.
Well, before we talk to TFT, I'm going to cut you off because I want to talk more about Maroons versus
yes,
STMC.
the next game will be.
Yeah, I want to address that before we start talking TFT because, I mean, I don't know the results of that game yet. I think we're going to find out soon. But this is one of those series that could go 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it to go to maybe the best of 3 there. Both teams are really good. They were both sitting. I'm pretty sure they're very identical on the ladder there.
Yep.
So, well, I mean, it can go either way. It can absolutely go either way.
That said, now we will be taking our break, I believe. So when we come back, which might be in about 10 minutes or so, we will get into game number 2 between the Maroons and STMC.
Yeah.
Do not go too far. Obviously, we have a full day of League of Legends here. We have semifinals and finals, plus other fun stuff in between.
A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, so stick with us here at the Chisholm Invitational. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chisholm Invitational. This is my show today.
I'll hand over the reins. There we go. You can take it.
I did the intro at the start of the day. I'm just in that mindset. My apologies.
No, it's okay. So we're back here with another game.
We are. And
STMC versus Chisholm Maroons.
Yeah, and again, best of 3 series.
Yep.
Game 1 was played off stream, and it was the Chisholm Maroons getting the win. I had a bit of a watch and was looking on as it was happening, and it felt fairly close for a majority of it until one critical team fight went the Maroons' way, and then they closed that game down. Yeah,
and from what I heard, it was a very, very good use of the Kindred ult. Unfortunately, I don't know if we'll ever get to see it. So it's like this this tale, a legend that people will continue to talk about, where there's no real evidence, but we all believe it in our hearts that it happened.
Yeah, but something I do want to bring up, though, and why we might not see it again, it looked to me, looking at the team compositions that we had before, you know, the small boy on the Galio, you had the Kindred pick, you had Tryndamere up top for Waffle Wizard. Chisholm Maroons, they got all their comfort picks. Yeah. And I feel that was a case of STMC maybe didn't do enough research into their opponents.
Well, from what I heard, speaking to the teams, they actually didn't ban out Microlag at all. Because, I mean, now look at the Chisholm Maroons with Waffle Wizard and Malfunction being both as well very dominant solo laners there. You have to pay respect to someone. And unfortunately, Microlag just fell through the cracks. And not this time, because Kindred is gone.
No, and the other thing, too, that I noticed when looking at the picks and bans of each side was that STMC, they picked, I actually felt like, the stronger team composition. Yeah. They went more for meta as opposed to comfort, but it was a lot harder to execute for them. And I think that's kind of where they faltered.
And talking about Microlag not getting any respect, we'll see if all 3 bans go to Microlag, because clearly STMC have a little bit of a bias there.
I wouldn't be surprised. What I also am finding interesting is, you know, the Maroons ban, seeing the Echo. I like this Echo ban because STMC's strong point, from what I saw, and really was what their team comp was based around, is the jungle mid synergy. It was their jungle mid synergy. So it was the Gragas Yasuo, and they actually had some success with that duo. This time away, you know, respect being shown by the Maroons. They're
Echo, Kale, Yasuo being taken out. And then as well, STMC being like, yo, Microlag, how about you just step off today? 3 jungle bans. However, they have left up Waffle Wizard's Tryndamere.
Yep.
They've not paid respect to another laner just due to the fact that they don't want Microlag to play. They are hovering over the Mordekaiser. Looks like they will lock that in there for the top lane. So maybe he's very confident in versing that Tryndamere. I mean, we'll see what Waffle Wizards can play. As well, his Aatrox is also up, which, I mean, it's an Aatrox. But
it will be the
there's his comfort pick.
And this is, I feel, like Beppy's best champion as well. We saw that on Thursday. Beppistan on the Mordekaiser just ran rampant. So I definitely feel this is a matchup in the top lane that's going to be very tough. Could go either way. Yi pick for Microlag. I'm not so sure on this one.
He plays a very aggressive Master Yi. Very aggressive.
Okay.
I mean, I'm looking at this comp and being like, the best jungler to pick now would be Rammus.
Yeah.
Like, don't do any work and let them kill themselves.
I mean, Rammus into Yi Tryndamere does feel very strong. That said, though, Nautilus is still available and is a super strong support. Instead, though,
they've
mid
opted
lane
for the
focus.
Misfortune jungle, which is unique. I mean, I'll give them that.
Blind pick Talon.
I mean, is he showing overconfidence? Is it? I mean, Talon has been run jungle. I will admit, I have seen people run Talon jungle, and maybe they're only choosing that because they do own all the champions, but it could be a flex. It could be potentially something like that. Retroactively, Malfunction has picked up the Syndra there, so looking to do those really good one-shot R kills. Press the button.
I'm just looking at STMC's team composition and how they've opted to take this draft. I'm not sure I agree with how they've done it, and I just want to explain why. To not be too harsh. Talon is a surprise pick.
Yeah.
And not one that I expect would have been banned away.
Yeah.
You have one part of your bot lane support. It's also like a Nautilus or some sort of engage to go with the MF.
Yeah.
Super strong. Obviously, this is recognized by Maroons. They're banning away the Gragas. They're banning away the Thresh. Like, these are some of those threats. I feel you pick the support in that situation instead of the surprise mid pick.
Yeah.
Talon still might find up in a matchup he doesn't want to be in. In particular, Syndra Talon. I don't really like Talon's odds in this.
Yeah.
I feel he would have been better off holding off, making sure he gets a matchup that he likes, maybe turning some of those bans towards...
Hear me out, though. Hear me out. To play devil's advocate, if the Talon and MF go bot lane, because MF has been used as a support, I mean... And then we have seen unconventional mid lanes. And even going back to what you said with STMC in the first game, they did play a very team fight oriented pick. Whereas both, like, I mean, you look at the Mordekaiser, you look at the Talon, they're both like very solo. You want to be playing by yourself as Mordekaiser. Even in team fights, you are playing by yourself as Mordekaiser. So, and then the Zac, I mean, which probably will be going to jungle, and there's a Galio pick there for support as well.
Yep.
Very interesting team comp. Kind of, it is actually more looking like a 1-3-1 or very focused on those skirmishes as opposed to a big team fight.
I mean, okay, I like the Nautilus pick better. I do
Yeah.
like the Nautilus pick better than the Galio in terms of what the team wants to do.
Yeah.
However, this does leave the Galio available for Chisholm Maroon, the
Yeah.
small boy. It's his go-to pick, so he's going to be getting some comfort there. And that's the only reason why I would have been okay with the Galio going over to STMC. I feel the Wombo combo potential actually would have been super strong as, a switch to Braum.
Oh, so actually the small boy he's a big Braum fan. Being able to tank a lot and be able to be there in the front line is both what Galio and Braum do, but it just comes down to, I mean, preference. What do you feel more comfortable playing on?
I think Braum is a lot stronger in this team composition than the Galio would be, only because of the sheer amount of melee that Chisholm Maroons can go throw down.
Yeah.
If Braum lands with like the Frostbite and either Microlag or Waffle Wizard gets on that target, they are not getting away.
Well, I think Waffle Wizard will probably just stay top for the majority of the game, so we're more looking at Microlag. And even with Sivir, I mean, that is a very strong lane. I mean, Sivir does have a really good auto attack reset, being able to proc those Braum passive hits as fast as possible.
Yeah, the other thing too, and the reason why I like the Braum in this is it's just more shutdown, I feel, than what the Galio would provide. The Galio would have to get into the face of STMC's team composition, which they're fine with. Like, they want to get in your face. This is a pretty strong dive comp when I'm looking out of STMC. The Braum actually provides a bit more spacing than what the Galio would.
However, I just noticed that STMC probably did waste one of their bans there. They did ban the Akali when the Syndra was already picked. So, I mean, it is an interesting ban there. Maybe they thought the Syndra was going to go bot lane, or maybe it was just a lapse of judgment. But they did lose out on a potential there to maybe even get rid of that Braum. So we'll see whether that little slip up there is maybe going to be their downfall.
Yeah, STMC as a whole, like, they do odd things.
I mean, they did ban 3 junglers first and allowed
that was a
Waffle
good
Wizard
thing. I'm not
Is it though? Because now there's a Tryndamere in the game.
Yeah, but that's just a case of, like, you know what? It's risk versus... It's risk.
Calculated
it's evaluating
risk.
risk. It's calculated
risk.
Yeah, exactly. They'd rather deal with Waffle Wizard's Tryndamere, something which will stay in that top lane, not contribute as much to the team fights, than deal with the Kindred. And, you know, this Lambster Spite you were talking about that completely turned a team fight around.
But then again, if Tryndamere gets ahead, he's a team fight in and of itself. That is a raid boss.
But it's Bappy's Mordekaiser, and he has been
Bring
strong
your
on
clerics,
this champion.
bring your assassins. You're going against a raid boss in the top lane.
I don't know. I feel like Beppy is ready to take on this raid boss, because I've only seen good things from him on this Mordekaiser.
Also, speaking about Beppy, I believe he's also coming in to cast the All-Stars game.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that'll be fun. That will be fun. But
Jinx.
What I'm getting with in terms of the Beppy, though, you're calling Waffle Wizard this big raid boss. Beppy is a raid boss himself. It is a battle of raid bosses in that top lane.
Yeah. No, I mean, if we're gonna go by pure like MMO standards, I feel like Beppy is very much like the raid boss you do before the raid boss, because you like waste your resources. He picks you off one on one, and then you come to the big bad at the very end.
I suppose, but if we're gonna go by like MMR standards and solo queue rank, I just don't want to go down that path. It's been a rough year, and I feel sometimes rank doesn't reflect skill.
No, ranked definitely reflects skill.
All right,
And it definitely reflects how good you are at the game. And that's why you need to always be the best person you can be in ranked.
okay. Yeah, I hear you, I feel you, and I'm just going to take that advice, and I'm going to be like, you know what, for those of you who enjoy solo queue, have fun with that climb. I'm going to continue over in my TFT corner.
I'll play Bard for everything. But speaking about playing something, I believe they're going to be playing Mordekaiser.
Raid boss in trouble. Ignite is dropped. Will it be enough? I do not believe so. So Beppy gets out alive, gets the flash out of Microlab, the ignite out of Waffle Wizard, and with that teleport still available, he should be okay. Just needs to be a bit careful about the timing. Doesn't want to get ganked again right away. However, Metabon on the Zac. Now, this is a jungler that can be invaded upon. Beppy hasn't retreated. He's in a lot of trouble. Microlag's coming right on back. That red buff has the slow. No flash available this time. Good use to pull Waffle back, but the aggro was on the wrong target, so Microlag will get out. Meta has a red buff himself. The minions doing work. That is a nice bit of
Talon's
heal
also
from Waffle.
coming up, by the way, there. He's just going to try and make an appearance, but I don't believe he'll find anything.
Oh, he doesn't want to commit for that fight. There was a Microlag waiting for him in the bush. Smart decision there. No roam from Malfunction, which actually could have put Kala in a bad situation there. Instead, though, small advantages going to the Maroons with a first blood on top actually makes it quite significant, and great start for this red side.
Yeah, I feel like if Malfunction did rotate around, I feel like Carla would have picked up a kill. So by I guess not rotating around and just pushing your advantage into the own lane, you don't even give STMC a chance to even get ahead. But I mean, that was a very, very aggressive play there from Microlag, which, I mean, he does play a very aggressive year, so we'll expect to see much more of that coming into the game here.
And I have to question Beppy, unfortunately, and not opting to recall and teleport back into that lane, leaving himself exposed for that counter gank. This comes down to understanding your team. Zac, yes, he can counter gank early, but he's not really good those first 3 levels. Like, he get invaded early, and so you should be aware you don't really have that jungle support. However, Microlag could be in a bit of trouble right here, a bit of a 2v1. Down is coming Waffle Wizard. Will he get there in time? Good use of the meditation to try and buy some time. Malfunction this time has roamed up, and they are scaring away SDMC. Beppy would be the target if this engage continues. Waffle spins in, gets a huge crit onto Beppy, and down falls this Mordekaiser yet again. Kala finally making his appearance known. Microlag will fall. Kill being secured by the mid laner, but he pays for it with his life. A double kill on the split push Tryndamere.
Yeah. That is 2 kills for Tryndamere, 2 deaths for Mordekaiser, and I don't think that will be the last we see of any action there in the top lane. However, it is interesting to see that, I mean, Microlag is taking the pressure there to try to get the Tryndamere as ahead as possible, because Tryndamere is someone who can snowball himself once the opportunity becomes available. So I feel like it's very much an investment from Microlag, being like, hey, if I give you 2 kills, can you make that 30? Oh, yes. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then I'll help out other lanes. Like, you just put your assets aside and then, ship them offshore, and then you're all good. They earn interest.
I'm also trying to pay attention to how Waffle Wizard is going to manage these waves. It was nearly perfect there. He did get the wave into the tower, unfortunately. He does give a quite significantly large wave back over to Bepistan, so he didn't deny everything he could from this Mordekaiser, but nice back for him, gets his Berserker Greaves and a couple of long swords. Every trade right now is going to go Waffle Wizard's way. Yeah. He's going to have Flash and Ignite available once he hits level 6, has that ultimate, and I would not be surprised to see him try and tower dive and really start to accelerate the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, once he hits 6, especially with lethal tempo, there's no surviving the underneath tower there. Yes, Mordekaiser can, use him to pull him to the Shadow Realm, but then again, you are stuck in the Shadow Realm with that Tryndamere, so I don't know if that's going to do much damage or much help there for you. I feel like as the Mordekaiser, you'd pull someone else into the Shadow Realm so you can just escape from the Tryndamere at this point. I feel like that's the smarter choice.
Microlag was doing a bit of stalking there at the moment, just making sure actually that Kala would be going back to the mid lane before going ahead and starting that dragon. However, good use of the vision plan does mean Metabon has spotted him. I'm curious if Chisholm is going to commit more to this dragon or back away for now. It looks like they're going to retreat, so good vision play coming from STMC trying to stop the snowball. Bot lane has roamed, however, and at a time when a wave is crashing into their tower, again, kind of odd decision making, a bit poor wave management.
I think they were probably, the Zac was hovering around their mid lane there, so I think they were looking for maybe a pick onto the Syndra then to transition that into a dragon. But because Syndra managed to get a stun off onto the Talon there, nothing came of it. So, and they did rotate up, but maybe it just comes down to a lack of communication, or just maybe the dice didn't roll their way.
I mean, it's not the worst in the world because Cubix was able to get back with enough time. Meanwhile, we've had that level 6 tower dive. We knew this was coming. Ultimate's used. Ignite is dropped, and Waffle Wizard making it look so easy. Gets the kill and gets out alive.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in Trinity, you just hit right-click on the person, and you just take your hands off the keyboard, hit R, and then you just leave it to auto-pathing.
And this is a case as well. No risk involved. You know Metabon is down around that dragon, so you're not going to get counter-ganked. It's just, unfortunately, SDMC trying to commit for that dragon. Gives up resources to protect the top lane. Another kill given over to Waffle Wizard. And this Tryndamere could explode out of control. Good play by the bot lane, though. Gets the flash out of the Sivir, but...
And really smart counterplay for the dragon. I mean, they did know that the pressure was alleviated because STMC pulled away. They didn't keep up the pressure. They just let the Chisholm Maroons have it.
Yeah, and this is, like, not a great start for STMC. It does feel as if everything is slowly falling down around them. And it comes back to, I feel, one of the strengths of the Chisholm Maroons is they understand game state, and they understand when to push and when to pull back. So far in this one, they've been pushing at the right opportunities. They've pulled back when they've had to. It's been smart. I feel the Maroons probably have the strongest early game in this tournament. And that's why if they win this game, and I'm assuming SPCC wins their game as well, this finals is going to be very interesting to me because I feel SPCC probably is the more mechanical team. But when it comes to like team cohesion, Maroons very, very tough.
Well, even just harping onto that last game there, SPCC play a game very mechanically the exact same. You know, they wait for that mid game and then they transition to examining the opponent's weakness. So all that Maroons need to do is somehow disrupt that programming, and then they have a chance. But this game, I mean, the 80 carries farm. I mean, MF is up there, but now that the Mountain Drake has been taken, I mean, Tryndamere is only going to be able to take more towers easier, and same with the bot lane.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm just curious to see when we really start to see Chisholm start to like put dedicated sieges to these towers. I imagine it's going to be with Rift Herald, which will be spawning in roughly a minute and a half. Already, we're starting to see like deeper vision get placed in preparation. Waffle Wizard moving into that jungle. They are aware that there's a blue buff there, so Metabon has to be very careful in his own jungle. Like, it's not really his anymore, and he's just seeing Chisholm Maroon steal that one away. That is Kala roaming down, but there is not much this Talon can do in that situation.
Yeah, and it's like we were saying last game with the Zac there. He is very reliant on his team early. And if you get invaded in the jungle, there's nothing you can do. All you can do is hope that you get an elastic slingshot and a smite. But even then, you have left yourself in a compromisable position there. You have to rely on your team to gank because you just don't have the damage output, especially he has Aftershock. He's going to be very tanky to take down, but, I mean, it's just a wet noodle slap at that point.
I think you need to play more Zac. And you need to play some AP Zac because you've been coming down on Zac's damage all day.
Hey,
and I got to stand up for my boy.
I love Zac. I mean, I love AP Zac in Earth.
Oh, that's a depth charge connecting onto Olive Tree. I'm Trigger's on his own. Finally helps arriving from Metabon. Look at the damage he did. It was about 50 there. The Ignite helping as well as Kala comes down and secures the first kill. The small boy on his own won't be able to get out of this one alive. Or will he? Here comes Microlag. Kala's going to chase over the wall, but Microlag's going to turn it back around. Pops the passive on Metabon, and it's just looking to destroy Cubix. The flash comes a little bit too late as Microlag takes down the Misfortune as well. At the end of the day, Small Boy did fall, so it is at the moment a bit of a back and forth. Metabon going back in on Microlag. Here comes Kala, just disintegrating Microlag. Up top, Waffle Wizard wants to get in on the action the only way he knows how, and that is spinning into the face of Beppy Stam, who is trying to get to that tower. Flash is available. Waffle Wizard still might commit. Under the tower he goes, still has the ultimate, has a flash himself. Ignite is dropped. He's committing for it. Does he have enough damage? He does, and he does not get out because the tower turns it back around.
It's actually a really smart play there by Mordekaiser, using the ult to lock himself in the Shadow Realm, because then you can't run out of the turret distance. You're essentially locked into this playground that Mordekaiser has created himself. I mean, a little bit of an overextension there from Microlag on the Master Yi. He was able to pick up 1 kill in retaliation there, but unfortunately Malfunction wasn't able to rotate down fast enough. But it was a really, really good engage there by Metabon, being able to see the overstep there from Olive Tree and the small boy, especially onto that tanky Nautilus.
Kala, oh my gosh, what a great scatter the week there from Malfunction. I thought he was going to go down. You had Metabon coming up as well, but nope, Kala stopped in his tracks. And this is critical because after that last fight down bot, Kala is back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, he's now 4-1. And, the 3 kills that he just gained in that last team fight, there was very much a good riot control there by the Syndra. As soon as he tried to jump in, just push him right on back there. So we'll see who can do more damage there, a 4-1 Talon or a 4-1 Tryndamere. Talon can't one-shot a Tryndamere unless he's very quick with it, because Tryndamere can then just keep auto-attacking him down. And the Yi as well is 2-2, so kind of all the eggs are in the basket there for Kala. So we'll see whether that pays off.
Yeah, it will be. I definitely feel STMC now has a window to fight back in this game. The big issue, though, for this blue side will be how can they control Waffle Wizard. They have a bit of time at the moment. No summoners available, and you do see Metabon on the top half of the Rift. That said, Microlag is there as well, and more importantly, there is a Rift Herald that I imagine each of these teams probably want.
Yeah.
As I say that, pings coming down on that Rift Herald. It's going to be a point of contention for sure. Vision will be going STMC's way.
And what could have easily been a Rift Herald secure for the Chisholm Maroons there is now going to be a little bit more difficult with a 4-1 Talon roaming around. He hasn't gone back yet, which is very important. He's still sitting on however much gold he's got from those past 3 kills. He's still only sitting on that 1 item. So we'll see. I mean, the more time he doesn't have those items is the more time that's being wasted. And at that moment, Microlag is just taking down the Herald.
Yeah, he's taking out the Herald the moment it appears that Kala is actually backing to recall. So taking advantage of the map situation, good timing from Chisholm Maroon. This should be a Rift Herald secured for them.
He's also opted to go for the Yomus as opposed to the Dustblade first, which for mobility's sake is probably the better pick. But would you rather just not push that advantage ahead more?
I don't know, but down bot, we are seeing the 2v2, a huge bullet time just destroying the small boy. Olive Tree has to back away. Great ultimate coming from Cubics. Up top, however, Beppy in a world of hurt. There's 2 champions and a Rift Herald. No tower to help protect him this time. Not even going to bother with the Shadow Realm. He'll go down, but STMC are learning. You take our top, we're going to take the Cloud Drake in response.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably quite a good trade there for Chisholm Maroons. We might be looking at getting 2 towers there just for a Cloud Drake. And I know that you love Cloud Drake, but I think in comparison here, Chisholm Maroons just walked away with the much better deal there.
When have I ever said I love Cloud Drake?
Oh, and Cal, I started dissing on Cloud Drake, and you were like, oh, actually, according to the gold advantage, Cloud Drake is better late game.
Yes, but it's not my favorite. Dude, Mountain Drakes all the way.
Yeah,
I'm big on mountains because I like sieging, I like macro, I like team play, and I like, being able to blow up Baron in about 5 seconds. Yeah. Cloud Drake, though, I still think is strong for SCMC, especially with Column going for that Yomus. I think he will be able to really exert a lot of side lane pressure now. If he disappears on this map, Maroons have to be very careful. Like, it's going to be difficult to track, I feel, with this extra movement speed with the Yomus.
He also opted to go for the Ninja Tabai, which smart against Tryndamere and the Yi, but boots mobility.
Yeah.
You
want him to double down.
I think that the best part about Kala's pick there. We'll see what picks he can get.
Great connection with the elastic slingshot. There's not much Malfunction can do here. Another kill going over to this Talon, who is the hope for SDMC.
Yeah, going back onto that, I would rather see him go hyper roaming and get those that Moby boots and be able to be everywhere at once. Jumping over walls, leaping everywhere, as opposed to playing that defensive, because necessarily, it's going to help you survive against a Yi and a Tryndamere, but if you're fighting a Yi and a Tryndamere, you're probably not going to last that long anyway.
How scary is the concept of a roaming gang squad composed of a Zac, a Nautilus, and a Fed Talon? That is something you have to throw so much respect, have such good vision in order to deny. especially as Chisholm Maroons start to push deeper and deeper in enemy territory. One wrong misstep, and there's nothing you can do against that chain CC.
Yeah, and it's not even it's chain CC, but it's just essentially just trying to feed Talon more. It's just a drive through for what Talon is, and just being able to try to get him as many kills as possible. But we'll see how the Maroons can pull away with this one. Essence Reaver being picked up for the Tryndamere and the Sivir as well. Meanwhile, the Misfortune has picked up a Duskblade, which is interesting. I feel like she should have maybe gone from a bit more of a utility with a Black Cleaver just to shred the armor there, as opposed to a Dusk. You already have one assassin in the game.
Yeah, I'm going for the armor pen Misfortune. Like, it is how I like to play it, as Kala might be in a bit of trouble. No, they're turning it around. Metabon helps secure the first kill. Waffle Wizard, though, has to burn Flash to get out. In the end, it's 1-for-1. The Talon did fall, and this is critical. So, like, 2 of the star players each go down.
Yeah, and Ignite being dropped onto the Master Yi there, so his Meditate wasn't able to save him there. But that is one Ignite down. Ignites have a longer cooldown time than what a Master Yi will do. So, I mean, we'll see whether Microlag just jumps straight back in there and they won't have an Ignite to possibly finish him off.
But I think what's critical is with Talon down, this does open up the map for the Maroons, and they are should be able to push a bit safer, explore a bit more. However, they don't really get too much from it this time around. They get a couple deeper wards in, but other than that, there's no real objectives, unfortunately, that they can take.
Yeah, if I was Chisholm Maroons at the moment, I would be looking at just trying to secure those first-tier turrets, essentially just to back up that Tryndamere. He's going to be now pushing the Inhibitor down, which, I mean, the only one person who can defend against that is the Talon.
Olive Tree was in a bad spot, has to burn Flash to try and escape, but the follow-up Flash from Metabon is there. Olive Tree trying to get out, micro-lagging the small boy, doing what they can. Unfortunately, it's a miss with the Winter Smite, so Metabon will get himself the kill and looks to escape. Cubix, however, was left on his own, and micro-lag will easily grab that one. This E is so low, but the Alpha Strike buys the time. He dodges the abilities. A bit of a meditation happening right there. He's taking so much damage as up above Malfunction is trying to do so much work. However, it is a beefy blue side right now, and they are fighting back. Malfunction now on his own won't be able to get out of this one, and another team fight goes STMC's way.
Oh, has it?
Oh my gosh, Malfunction on the brink of death out of that stopwatch. Buys only so much time. Either way, it is a triple kill before Kala cleans him up.
Oh, you would have felt so good as the Syndra to pull away with that. And then just to see Talon. That's like Michael Myers, like, just run away. But at the same time, Talon had to prioritize the Syndra there to stop her. But then Tryndamere is just taking an Inhibitor turret.
Yeah, exactly. As all this is going on, yes, that team fight did look good for SDMC. Unfortunately, it comes at the cost of yet another tower.
Yeah.
And this is the problem
at
STMC.
Backing away. He's just doing a loop.
No, this is the problem STMC faces right now. What can they do to stop Waffle Wizard? We've already seen Chisholm Maroon. Actually, they can hold themselves in a fight. Like, they wasn't the cleanest. Malfunction did come up huge at the end there. I didn't see that one coming. Kudos to him. But they need to win these fights decisively for SDMC. Like, they can't let Malfunction do that. That's the only way to pull Waffle Wizard away. Like, going even in these fights is not going to save them this game.
I feel like at this point, what do you work on? Do you try to stop the Tryndamere? Do you send 2 people there to stop him? Or do you try to stop the rest of the Chisholm Maroons? Because that's what's presently happening. And Bep is left there to try to deal with Waffle Wizard by himself, but he's not going to be able to do that. Dragon has been secured. Zack's coming down, so they lost Dragon pressure by sending the jungler up top. Inhibitor's down, the Dragon's down, and Chisholm Maroons are looking like they're going well ahead there in Kala.
Oh, Kala feeling a bit overconfident perhaps, is not going to win this fight. Is able to escape, or is he? Microlag still looking for it, has the blasting cone. Meanwhile, as this is happening, bot tower is being sieged. Chase still happening up above, and it looks as if for now, Kala will escape. Kala needs the team.
Kala's running all the way back to the enemy base as far as possible, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, but now that's the main source of damage for STMC, and this should mean the Maroons can engage, but that's great chain CC into the bullet time. That is a lot of damage coming from the Armor Pen MF, and it takes down Microlag. So, that's a nice pick. Kala finally stepping forward to challenge Waffle Wizard. Has some help from Beppy as well, but they might not be able to bring him down, or can they? Good grab from Beppy means Kala will catch up. Ultimate has been used. Can they juggle the damage? Waffle Wizard trying to get what he can, but he's taken into the Shadow Realm by Beppy Stan.
Nice.
Great play coming from STMC.
That was a really good juggling of the Tryndamere there, pulling his aggro like a proper raid boss. You know, you pull the aggro, you taunt him, you get his attention. But meanwhile that happened, Mid-Tower was able to be picked up there by Chisholm Maroons. And I mean, looking purely at the gold advantage, STMC have the more kills, but Chisholm Maroon's sitting on 5 towers compared to STMC's 0.
Yes, they are, and that's a critical thing, but a good bit of a this for that. Because that inhibitor is down, that will be a bit more gold being funneled into STMC, and unfortunately for the Maroons, in this sense, it was the top side tower, which means that they should be able to manage that wave and still keep the pressure on the Baron.
Yeah.
I was talking to Farmer about this recently, happening off stream, and it actually isn't uncommon for teams to hold off taking inhibitors until like the 25-minute mark when they know they can turn that into a Baron, because otherwise you're just giving your opponents free gold.
Yeah.
However, no vision around the area means Microlag, he's feeling confident. He thinks he can solo this giant purple worm.
I mean, Trinimir is coming in now, so they do have the 2 melee boys just striking it down. Just, you know, and there's a Baron.
Okay, well, you know what? That proves my point wrong. If, you know, SCMC are just going to give it away for free and also have no pressure in that top lane as super minions are
I also
rolling.
feel like they were like, they're not going to Baron at 21 minutes. Master Yi can't solo it for like half of its health. No, he can. That's what Master Yi does. He hits things and he hits things fast.
So,
and then Trinimir hits things hard.
So as I was observing SCMC like in between these games, there was a couple things I noticed, and I want to bring them to light. The first is communication. I feel when this team starts to fall behind, it really sounded to me like their communication was breaking down. And communication is the most important thing in these kinds of games. Like staying vocal, staying shot calling out plays, calling out where your opponents think they are. And it's hard when you're behind because morale starts to get you. You start to silent. You're just focusing on your own play.
Yeah, especially in a situation like this, right? You have top inhibitor that's down, right? You have 4 people of Chisholm Maroons that are pushing down the mid lane. You have a Trinimir pushing bot lane. You need to talk. You need to make sure where your priorities are. Do you send Talon mid to maybe get a 4-man really quickly? But at the same time, then the Trinimir has just left Rome to take towers upon towers.
Exactly, just that. And like communication, and that leads into my second point, which is SCMC is a young organization, like a young high school esports club. I think with experience, this team has potential to actually be really strong. As here we go, it's that last chance fight coming from Metamon. They need to stop these Baron plays. Kala's already found one. The ultimate bullet time was disrupted by the small boy, but didn't buy enough time. A great use of Zach's Q, pulling people back in. Microlag as well as the small boy falling. This is the team fight that SCMC needed. They take 3, but Waffle Wizard wasn't there, and he is getting a second inhibitor. He's pinging Nexus towers. He might want more. Here comes Cubics trying to stop him, and the rest of SCMC are there, but Waffle Wizard, he ain't going down without a fight. His ultimate will only buy so much time. Beppy, actually in a bit of trouble, does get the kill under the towers, however, and that is huge for STMC.
Interesting that Malfunction has opted to go in maybe there to try to get a little bit of a pick. Maybe that again comes down to that miscommunication there. Unfortunately, that will be all the Baron buffs down there for the Chisholm Maroons. Bit of a misstep there by Malfunction going in. Maybe he just wanted to join his team. Full team camaraderie.
That was such a huge team fight from STMC. You saw they got what they wanted, the Wombo combo. Zach comes in with the elastic slingshot. You buy time for the bullet time. Trigger dropping, you know, the depth charges straight through the middle just to hold everyone in place. The small boy was able to block some of it in the end with the ultimate, not with the shield. So at the end of the day, you're kind of okay with that trade. You got rid of the stronger ability. Fantastic for STMC.
However, now the ultimately thing is now you lost another inhibitor. So, I mean, although top should be up fairly soon, the bottom lane is now down. So now you need to juggle that. And I mean, Trinimir will just go top again and take that top inhibitor. And it is in its up. And
this is going to come back to that second point I wanted to make about STMC being a young org. I feel like the squad will benefit so much in the future once they get... I would like to see them get
a fight
coaching.
By the way, this is not a fight they should be looking at doing there. A little bit risky.
Oh, here we go. Here goes Metabon. He gets the steal on the Mountain Drake, and now they need to escape, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Kala already with the double kill. Here comes the depth charge. They're not going to pursue, because in the base, Waffle Wizard is taking yet another inhibitor. Cubics will step forward and try to stop him, but I don't think he can. Instead, Waffle Wizard is going to back away, not willing to risk it.
Yeah.
These team fights are huge again and again for this blue side squad. Kala's in trouble, though. Gets caught out. A huge solo kill by Malfunction.
And then a Brawl just to deter the Nautilus from doing anything more. But then Waffle Wizard is just
Waffle Wizard still doing work. Beppy as well as Metabon are there. They're going to try and cut him down. Cubics will arrive. So with 3 members of Chisholm Maroon, they should be able to get him. But the flash actually helps Waffle Wizard escape. Elastic Slingshot connects. But here comes Malfunction. Here comes the small boy. Do they have the damage to fight this one back? Waffle Wizard has fallen. Now the small boy needs to make an escape. Malfunction should be able to escort the Braum to safety. This game has just gotten crazy in this past, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, and unfortunately, I'm looking at that Misfortune, and that teamfight could have gone the other way. But Misfortune, the build there is a little bit odd. She has opted to go for the Duskar, but then go into the Black Cleaver, as opposed to just going for that full armor pen and go for that Youmuu's, the full lethality. I mean, yes, you build Black Cleaver, but eventually it's kind of one of the last items you build. And I mean, if you are going to go for that Black Cleaver first item, then maybe don't go for the Duskar. It feels like the build at the moment is a little bit wish-washy, so it doesn't have the full damage capabilities as, I mean, the MF usually would have had. I would have even preferred a Trinity Force over the Duskar there.
Yeah, I think looking at that build, I would have liked to see the Youmuu's Duskblade.
Yeah,
I
going
think that
from
would have been
Duskar
ideal.
into Youmuu's.
Because we are seeing the damage that the ultimate is dropping in these team fights. Like, it is shredding everything, and that's just like buying time for Kala to come through then and clean up. Chisholm Maroon, I still feel they have the advantage in this game only because of Waffle Wizard and the split push. Like, really, every team fight that doesn't go SDMC's way, Waffle Wizard has done a good job to make sure they don't lose too much as an end result.
Well, Chisholm Maroons aren't even looking at going for team fights. I mean, you look at more going for picks. You've got a Yi, you've got a Sivir, and yeah, they've played very aggressive and they've taken all the towers. But now that's just leaning into what STMC want to have. They want to have you come to them and not them to you.
But here's the thing, and this is why I'm worried about SCMC. Their comp does have a time limit, and that time limit is the GA finished on the Yi and the third item finished on the Sivir.
Yeah.
I love Armor Shred Misfortune, do not get me wrong, but it does drop off late, and when it starts to drop off, that's a lot of the team fight gone.
Yeah.
And when you look at the map, you have to remember, SCMC hasn't even taken a tower yet.
Yeah.
So they not only need to get this Baron, but they need to get this Baron and then push, and probably actually win off of it. They just need to start to steamroll. But with Waffle Wizard being that thorn in the side of this blue side squad, I just don't think they have shown that team cohesion in order to pull it off.
But I'm just going to jump on that as well. I believe that if they do manage to get Baron, if FCMC got Baron, they'd have to actually play 2 team fights.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the turrets are so far down, by the time you'd even push up to the Nexus, most of the Maroons would be back up, and then you'd either have to push another lane or just go straight in. But the Baron's been taken down there by the Chisholm Maroons as quickly as they did the first time.
Yeah, and this I would like to think might lead to the big final push at this stage. Waffle Wizard is going to back now, though, so a little bit of a reprieve. 3 items have been completed, though. It's for an obvious power spike. At this stage, the Maroons have to make sure they do not get jumped on. Wait until Waffle Wizard can, again, establish that side lane dominance. You already have super minions coming down from both, and this is the smart thing. Set up for that group recall. You don't need to win the game right away. You have time.
Yeah, he's actually gone for a Sojin.
Oh,
as opposed to a GA.
I mean,
I'm not opposed to it, but probably GA there would have been a better pick against an assassin like Talon there, even against the Mordekaiser, because now they need to take you down again. It's a very aggressive build, and it can certainly help him when he stays alive, but again, it depends on whether the priority of the CC will be going upon the Yi.
Yeah, and that's where it's been for a lot of this, unfortunately. I don't really feel that Microlag has been surviving long enough for the Sojin really to get to its, like, optimal usage.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see, if you want to go Sojin, I would have liked to see at least a stopwatch.
Yeah,
at this stage.
Yeah, of course.
Because really, you only need to win one more team fight.
Yeah.
And that stopwatch would have worked just as well as a GA if you used it correctly, as here comes Metabon. He does not connect with the Elastic Slingshot, but the CC train is still coming through. Call just disintegrates Olitree, and Waffle Wizard getting right back to work on those inhibitors. Has a bit of help from Cubics, but not going to be enough to secure that kill. So an inhibitor falls at the cost of the AD carry. The siege is still on. This is such
very, very risky play there. I mean, you have blown the Decisive Talent ultimate there, so he doesn't have that huge burst, and the Zac ultimate is down as well, so you kind of do have a little bit of advantage here, but we'll see how Chisholm Maroons do play this one out.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing going for the Maroons right now is those super minions on the top side of the map. The longer they can keep SCMC on the bot side means, the more desperate they're going to have to react. And look at the minimap. Look how deep Waffle Wizard is. He's going to draw aggro, and when he does, that should be the mid inhibitor starting to fall. Finally, SCMC are trying to collapse on Waffle Wizard. He's going to buy as much time as possible. Actually, Chunks call out of the fight, which means the rest of Chisholm can engage in mid lane. Metabon was a bit of a target, but no, look at Deep. Microlag is going crazy. He gets a huge double kill on Cubics and Call a triple kill, in fact, and this should be what ends the game. Chisholm Maroons will be advancing to the namesake finals.
Quadra kill there for the Master Yi at the very end before he died to the minions, I believe. But, I mean, that was what we expected. That was what we expected. The Tryndamere just to stay in the side lanes and just create pressure, create cracks. I mean, there's only so many times where you can just keep going back and back and back to the Tryndamere before you're like, oh, we got to do this again? It's like Proxy Singed. It's like, do we really have to kill the Singed that's like behind the turrets? Oh, like, you just get demoralized by that. And then as well, showing why the Master Yi was a pick. You put all your priority and your focus onto the Tryndamere, and then there's another guy with a sword who's just swinging at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and then, I mean, it resulted in a quadra kill. He just was left unchecked.
It was, and like, yeah, the moment you saw the commitment happening on that bot side, Microlight was like, all right, I got this.
Switch on that alpha, just hit R, run in.
Yep, and that's where the Spear Session came through, and I will admit, I was wrong. I thought in the past, from what we'd seen in the team fights, SCMC was able to keep the Yi on lockdown. The second they lose the ability to do so, they lose the game. And credit where credit is due, SDMC played a very strong game there. Like, they were fighting. Those team fights, a couple of them were near perfect.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, no answer to that split push is what does them in the end.
Yeah, it just comes down to the point of they just were strangled. They ultimately it does come down to game experience and game knowledge. How do you handle that pressure of the base slowly being crept in? And they did have to as well. If that team fight went well, they have to chill in their base. They've got 2 inhibitors down. They would have had to wait there. They wouldn't even be able to push any lanes. They wouldn't be able to push the towers because all the minions were stuck in their base.
Yeah, it was a tough one. And I like, again, going back to SCMC and why I'm excited about this team in the future, because I see high potential with them. Like, they definitely can play the game. It's just, and I feel as their school program grows and maybe they get a coach in the near future, someone to help guide them, help improve that communication, teach them how to handle things like that split push. This team could be a very serious contender in years to come.
I mean, they've already showed so much promise. I would love to see what they could do in next year, in 2 years, if they keep going. I mean, definitely a team to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to lie. Like, after watching that first game, like, there was a large part of me that wanted to just like, okay, look, guys, if you just like adjust these couple little things, maybe you can improve. But I didn't. For competitive integrity, I didn't step up there. But yeah, I definitely am excited to see where they go through. Back to the Maroons, though. Strong showing. They executed the team composition that they had to. Now they only need to look forward because I'm assuming SPCC is going to be who their opponent is in this final.
Yeah, I mean, well, it could not be. We could have a serious upset on our hands, and Chisholm Greaves could have pulled away with something absolutely insane. But let's go over the ace and the MVP. I mean, Tryndamere?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I mean, he was the sole reason for that whole team. It's kind of like its own little team like fight.
Yep.
It's your own little meta where you just pick Tryndamere, he just goes top, and then you just kind of deal with the rest of it. I mean, yeah, Waffle Wizard for sure.
Waffle Wizard for sure on the MVP. As for the ace, I'm like debating between both the Zac and the Talon.
Yeah, the Zac managed to sneak up quite a few kills there. Just by being in a really good team fight. I feel like Talon kind of pushed himself. Like he found his own. His own kills, and then it was supplemented by the Zac. But then again, like in the team fights, it was the Zac who was helping the Talon around. So they kind of worked both in tandem, and I guess it's quite hard to choose between one of them.
I think the only reason why I'm leaning towards Zac is just because of how integral he was at initiating some of those team fights.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, the one team fight that doesn't go their way was unfortunately the one time he missed. And that to me showed how important he was and how good he was up until that last play, which is why I'm leaning more towards the Zac.
I'll agree with your decision. I mean, I was tossing up between the two, but yeah, let's go to the Zac.
Well, on that note, we have a bit of a break before our finals, but we will have a surprise before then, because surprises are fun, right?
Surprises are fun.
I love to. Actually, there's a couple surprises.
There is.
But the lunchtime surprise, I think, is going to be an especially special one because. Are we allowed to say it now?
Yeah, like student casters.
Student casters for an all-star game.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Something I would love to get on board would be more student casting because, you know, sometimes we need breaks.
Yeah, and sometimes I want to jump in and play myself.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not on the all-star team, unfortunately, because, well, let's be real.
There is a 1v1 tournament.
Ooh, I might have to jump
I'll
in
play
on that.
Bard.
Oh, that's good.
Rapid Fire Cannon Bard.
See, that sounds fun. When I do 1v1s, I go a little bit too serious and like, it's like, oh, Bard, okay, I'm playing AP Nasus.
Oh, man. No.
I know, I'm not.
Just
fun.
no. 1v1 me outside.
All right. What? Oh, 1v1 me in the parking lot, Bard only. So we each pull out like flutes.
On our mobile phones.
Yeah, oh, Mobile Legends.
Mobile Legends.
Mobile Legends 1v1 in the parking lot. Let's go. Anyways, we are going to be jumping to a break. When we get back, it will be the All-Star game with some student casters. I'm excited to hear what Beppy has to offer. Who's the other caster?
The name escapes me, but I'll get it to you guys before. I mean, you'll find out after the break.
All right, you'll find out after the break. Stick with us here at the Chisholm Invitational.